Hello and welcome again to my workshop. Today we're going to do a wood turning. I had 5 ton of wood delivered the other day, and I picked out a couple of nice pieces that I'm pretty sure we can turn something quite nice up out of. First of all, this piece is very heavy, and it's got some very interesting figure in it. It doesn't look much at the moment, but I think we can turn this into a very nice looking vase. All this interesting voids and knots and odd, should we say, odd shapes and the way the grain goes, I think that's going to turn into something very nice. This incidentally weighs approximately 12 to 14 kilos. It's quite a weighty piece of wood, and it was cut down and logged over 12 months ago. So, and this again is Tasmanian oak. So let's see what we can make out of it. We're going to use a new method, one that I don't often use, and really all it is this heavy screw spike that fits in the chuck, and this piece of material will screw onto, and then I'm going to bring the tailstock up and put in the other end to support the other end, and not only that, to push it up hard against this and the chuck mouth. That'll keep it all hopefully in the lathe from flying out at me. So what we need to do is get a drill that's slightly larger than the base of the screw thread inside there. So that's what we're going to do now. It's roughly in the middle here. This incidentally is going to be the top. So we're going to turn the back first and then turn it around, finish off whatever we've got to finish off on the outside, then hollow the inside out. Not sure whether I might even make it some sort of natural edge mouth of this vase. So here we go. Let's drill this. It doesn't matter about drilling in this end because we're going to hollow it out anyway. So let's put this in the chuck and then put this on the end of the chuck. What you need to do is screw him on there like that, and then push this real tight, jam him in there real tight, lock him up, and hopefully it's not going to come flying out at me. So the first thing you need to do then, after you've set your piece of material up between the chuck and your tailstock, what you need to do is get your tool rest body, as it were, and turn it around, turn the material around, and just move this up to make sure that the material isn't going to bottom out and jam everything up on your tool rest body then, or base. So then you can get your tool rest and put him in. Now what you need to do with your tool rest is about ½ an inch below the center height. So the center height is the end of that spike there, so you need to go about ½ an inch below that. It's like so, and you can tell that by just swing the tool rest round and just line it up there like that. Okay, so I know that's about ½ an inch below. And then you bring your tool rest around within 1/4 of an inch of the furthest part out of the piece of work. Just turn it around like that. Make sure you don't get your fingers in the way. Now, why I'm explaining very simple terms is because there's a lot of guys out there that have contacted me to ask, I suppose, the basics of using a wood lathe. So, you know, you guys out there that's more experienced and experts in wood turning, just forgive me speaking in simple terms. So now we've got our material set up. So now we get the first tool we're going to use is a roughing gouge. Right, so this is a roughing gouge. You see how it's shaped like a letter C, and you'll see that it's rounded here at the bottom and it's got a flat side here and here. Now what you actually do with that is you put it on the tool rest, a little bit out of shot there maybe, but you put it on your tool rest and you start cutting. You start cutting with the material on the round edge here, then you roll it over, okay, and whichever direction you have this rolled over, if I've got it turned away from me like that, you move it in that direction and you're cutting on that flat edge just there. And of course when you bring it back towards you, you roll it this direction and pull it back towards you. At all times, keep your fingers on the underside of this tool rest here. I think you can see that there. Every tool that you see, practically every tool that you see me use in this workshop has been manufactured by Pacific Tooling. The CNC routers, the lasers, and the lathes. Also the lathe tools. We do have contractors make these for us. Obviously we can't make everything. So just to let you know, there'll be an email address to contact Pacific Tooling down below this video. Now then, this is a standard spindle gouge, and this one is a bowl gouge. Notice there's a big difference between them. This one is for really hollowing out the inside of a bowl or the inside of a vase. There are specialized tools as well to do that job, but I tend to stick with the standard type of chisels. Later on this year we will go into more exotic tools, but it's unlikely that a first-time user will have those type of exotic tools, but these, yes. So and you'll actually see me use, I'll tell you now, because you'll probably see in some of the comments below this video, are you using the wrong tool, or you using it the wrong angle? Well, some of the professional, we'll call them wood turners, do complain that I don't use the right tool for the right job, or even the tool in the correct way. Well, my grandfather told me many years ago, more than 50, he said, boy, you use whatever tool you have in your arsenal to get the job done, providing it is done in a safe manner and it is, you're happy doing it that way and you get the result that you want. That is the right tool. Now it's up to the individual to, I suppose, determine which is the correct tool and how to use that correct tool themselves. Thank you. So here we go. Without further ado, we'll start machining. I'm probably going to have some comments about that too. But in the real world, that is correct. Okay, so we're going to start doing this. Now, I don't say it very often, but I will stress to you, you should wear, it's a must, and I see a lot of people that don't. People probably should know better. Wear protective gear. I wear an apron because it stops all the shavings going, most of them going down my shirt. I also wear glasses. I wear glasses practically all the time, but these are, they're not just ordinary glasses, they're not glass, they're actually acrylic, so they won't smash exactly. And I wear a face mask when using a lathe, any type of lathe. You will see in videos past that I've put out there, I've had a couple of these come flying out at me, and one of these has saved me more than once. You look, when using a lathe, you do whatever you can to do it safely, and it's only experience, I suppose, and even the most experienced lathe worker or CNC worker will break a tool, or will, a piece of wood will break up on you, or it'll be a little bit rotten somewhere inside, or there'll be a void and the tool will catch and it'll pop out of the lathe at you. But you do everything you can to prevent that. So little bit, gently, don't dig the tools right in and try to take a mass amount off to make the job quicker. It's better to do it slowly and little bit at a time and be safe. Okay, this probably sounds a little bit as though I'm talking in a bucket or a tunnel or something. That's because I got my mask on and I got this lapel mic in the mask with me. So here we go. I know a lot of questions are asked, well, why don't you wear gloves and how many splinters do you get and this, that and the other. You don't tend to get many splinters unless you're dealing with some exotic woods, some of the exotic hardwoods, then you might get some splinters. No, I don't often wear gloves at all. I've never had a glove or anything caught in any material. But I just don't tend to like to use it. I like to feel the tool, and but it's up to the individual what they want to do with that. Anyway, so I hope you can see there. I'm about, I can probably, it's about 1/4 of an inch there. That's the high spot there, the material. So we'll start turning now, and we should be able to wind this up about 400 to 500 RPM. Don't know where you can see that. There's an RPM reading here. It's always handy to have one of those, so you know exactly what the lathe is doing. So here we go. Okay, that's 530. So, and I know the material, the high spot of the material is in the middle here somewhere. So what we're going to do, we're going to sneak up to it like this, very quietly. Alright, what I normally do is just bring the tool up at a high angle like that, so you're touching it here. Touch the material here, and not actually on the cutting blade. Very gently. Okay, there it is. It'll try to... Okay, roll the tool over. So you know where the you can actually see a little bit of a blur. I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but you can actually see the blur of the material. You just knock the edge off. Try again. And you will get a catch occasionally. Now what I'm doing now, I'm just pushing gently with the flat edge. With it, I've got this rolled right over, and I've got this flat edge now, and I'm just find the material again. What I'm doing, I'm pushing it in gently like that, because I know there's a lot of material there, just needs to go quickly, like that. I can plainly see, I don't know whether the camera's picking this up, but I can plainly see where the material is there. And now we're getting a little bit too far over the edge of the Let's have a look, see how things are going. I think it's going to be a bit of a long tutorial, but you can see there I've just taken off the edge there, and a little bit off there, not there, not there, so it's all one-sided at the moment. So we've got quite a bit of material to fetch off, so you get the general idea. Okay, so here we go. I'm now going to swap tools from this roughing gouge to my bowl gouge, because I know through experience dealing with an extremely hard lump of wood like this, and it is extremely hard, I can get more of a precision cut with a bowl gouge. And because there's a lot of hit and miss here, and when you start to take some of the material away, you're over the end of the tool rest here quite a bit. You shouldn't really be more than like 1.5 inches over. That should be a bit the maximum really when you're doing this sort of cut, unless you're on the inside of a bowl or a vase. So I find I can get a more controlled cut and rough the material down faster with a bowl gouge. What I'm actually doing here is I want to use this part here as the mouth. So in other words, what I want to do is I want to shape. I want to come, it's going to be a lot narrower here. I'm going to have to take this down so it's narrower. But I'm going to come out wide here, then dip in. But I want to follow this up to be the mouth of the vase. Rather than a vase, I think it's going to turn into a hollow form. Maybe to put pot puree in or something like that, but it's going to look really nice. Look at this. This is going to turn, I mean, it's very very bitty, but I think we'll be able to save quite a bit of that, and I think we can turn it into something quite nice. So here we go. So you can see how I'm starting to shape the mouth up here. And we'll just keep working away at it. I'm trying to machine in around the back of this, down in, so I complete, or I have a complete machined part all the way through here. So I've got to go down about another ½ inch there. I don't really want to, but well, I think it'll be all right. Then I'm going to bring this up to this tip here. I'm going to lose some of this, I think. But I just want a rough outline or natural edge here, and then we'll machine the body and sort of neck the bottom down a bit too, so it's going to be wide here and come in quite skinny here, and then I'll bell out then for the base. Okay, so here we go. Incidentally, I'm using now my bowl gouge and a spindle gouge to do this operation in here. I'm up around 650 RPM now. I don't know whether you can see that. You should be able to just make that out there. 650, 660 RPM. Actually, I'm going to go to my spindle gouge. Let's get rid of this bit of material here. Should be just touching that now. Yeah, just touching that, which is good. Take the tool rest in a bit. A little bit more control. Okay, here we go. See, the overhang is getting a little bit too much for this here. So now I'll change to my bowl gouge, which I've also sharpened. And when you sharpen the tools, just take it very gently because it'll dig in. I'm trying to make a bit of a shoulder here. Oh, see, dug in. Okay, I just want to show you this particular cut. You see the angle of this here? This is the, I suppose, the heel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the back of this against the material as it's turning, like so. It's not cutting anything. Then I'm just going to bring the tool around towards the camera, so the cutting edge is just cutting and just pushing towards the material. Like so. So that really this is stopping you digging into the material. I'll just turn the machine off and show you that. There's a lot of air cut in here. So what is happening is the back of the tool is acting like as a stop, as it were, and it is allowing the material itself to actually stop the tool digging in. At least that's my terminology of it, of the way it's cutting. And look at the beautiful figure in this material. Now you're beginning to see here now that this is going to be something quite special, I think. So we'll keep going with it, and you see it's a fairly slow process. And the slower you go with it, really, you're going to prevent accidents and save the material, because you can very easily ruin the whole thing. Well, we'll keep going, and sometimes actually I'll keep going with that. What will happen is you're machining away, and I think, oh, this is going to be beautiful, and then all of a sudden a void or a piece of rotten piece will come, and then you have to change your idea of how you're going to machine and what the end product is going to be. The wood will determine really what the product is going to be. So we'll continue.